GPS wants a stable government. Bomb blast at Kabul mosque kills 10, injures 30. And Malaysians in United States return back to hometown. Those are the headlines for tonight. I'm Cheryl Chaminato, and this is TVS Nightline. Gabungan Party Sarawak, or GPS, wants a stable federal government. However, Premier of Sarawak, Dato' Patinggi Tan Sri Abang Johari Tunapeng, in an interview earlier, disclosed on the coalition which will be the choice of support for GPS in the coming general election.
Commenting further, Abang Johari said, although Barisan Nasional's win during the Melaka and Johor state elections recently is positive, however, this would not determine the general elections result this time, as it differs from state elections. In 2018, Malaysia's political landscape changed drastically when BN lost the general election for the first time since Malaysia's independence. On another matter, Abang Johari also hopes to expedite infrastructure development in the state in making it towards an investment hub for green energy and new technology by 2030.
At least 10 people were killed and 30 others wounded when a bomb exploded in a mosque in the Afghan capital, Kabul, during Friday prayers yesterday, April 29. Kabul security agencies are still investigating the incident.
In a Twitter post, Kabul Security Department spokesperson Khalid Zadran said the bomb went off in a Khankah gathering place adjacent to a mosque in the Alauddin area of Kabul's Police District 6. Local media reported that hundreds of worshippers had gathered for prayers on the last Friday of the Muslim holy month of Ramadan, and the mosque was packed. The attack came after at least 9 people were killed and 13 others wounded in 2 explosions on Thursday evening in the northern city of Mazar-e-Sharif. The terror group Daesh or ISIS has lately increased its attack across Afghanistan, posing a threat to the Taliban, who assumed control of the nation last August.
The Ministry of Youth and Sports, or KBS, announced on Saturday, April 30, that all sports and recreational activities are now allowed without restrictions, including vaccination status and time limit, effective Sunday, May 1. In addition, group activities such as aerobics, Zumba, Taekwondo training, and the like are also allowed without any limit or maximum capacity for participation.
KBS said spectators and supporters are allowed at sports and recreational venues according to the maximum capacity of the premises where physical distancing is not required. However, they are still encouraged to observe the physical distancing rule if they are not wearing face masks. The ministry said face masks are not compulsory in open areas and when doing sports activities indoors, but are mandatory when not doing any sporting activities in enclosed areas. Adding to that, KBS said scanning the MySejahtera QR code is also not required when entering sports and recreational venues, while the premises are allowed to operate without time restrictions according to the license or permit requirements. However, the ministry added that the management of the premises is required to check the risk status of the patrons on the MySejahtera application to ensure that individuals tagged with high-risk status and those required to undergo the home surveillance and observation order are not allowed to enter. Tournaments, competitions, as well as sports and recreational events at the domestic and international levels are also allowed with permission from the Sports Commissioner's Office, except for small-scale events at the community level. Guidelines on the application to host such events can be accessed at the Ministry's website as well as the application form.
Efforts to fight the COVID-19 pandemic in the state have been successful due to the full support of the people and the state government. Deputy Premier of Sarawak, Dato' Ahmad Douglas Uga Ambas, said the public had displayed inspiring unity, determination and commitment in protecting themselves and everyone else, while the government had set aside a substantial amount of financial and material resources.
Additionally, he commended the efforts shown by the public in adhering to the rules that have been set. Uga, who is also Sarawak Disaster Management Committee SDMC chairman, said the country is in the midst of transitioning into the endemic phase and soon situations will go back to normalcy. However, he reminded the public that despite all this, it is of the utmost importance to realize that the virus is still living among us. In addition to that, he reiterated that Sarawak had decided to follow the new SOP as set out by the federal government. On another matter, Uga stated that as of April 29, 80.1% of the qualified adult population in Malaysia had received 2 doses of the vaccine. As such, Uga urged those interested and qualified to register for the vaccine. In addition, Uga also said that there was now the anti-COVID-19 drug Paxlovid for treating positive cases.
All Divisional Public Works Department engineers have been instructed to search for and record any rural settlements and villages in their respective divisions that are still without road connectivity. Sarawak Deputy Premier Dato' Ahmad Douglas Uga Ambas said the state government is focused on resolving such issues and will begin plans to link them up.
Uga added it was the government's hope to have them connected to the cities and towns by 2030. Uga, who is the Minister of Infrastructure and Port Development, said this when officiating at the triennial delegates meetings of the Katibas, Bukit Goram, Baleh and Pelagus branches of the Parti Pesaka Bumiputra Bersatu PBB at the Civic Centre on Saturday, April 30th. Moreover, Uga reiterated that no rural settlements or longhouses should be left out of the state road network. As such, the government is striving to bring in or upgrade all infrastructure facilities and amenities.
Coming up right after the break, Malaysians in United States return back. Shawwal preparations during the remaining days. Right here on TVS Nightline. Stay tuned. Welcome back. And now on to some updates from the United States of America. Malaysians who are abroad are expecting a fresh new start of the Hari Raya celebration. This time, new restrictions and easing of measures are implemented. However, Malaysian citizens are grateful to be back home to their loved ones after the COVID-19 pandemic hit worldwide. Hence, our correspondent from the United States of America, Alfian Zaini, has the report.
Within the aircraft has been completely taken off last week, right? So nobody is mandated to wear any mask at all in the domestic flights at least. But effective from April 1st, Malaysians returning from the US, specifically those that are more than 7 years of age, would require a mandatory RT-PCR COVID test 48 hours prior to departure. Well, this may require some spending of about $250 to $300 per person to guarantee results that is within the required time frame. But this cost is a very small price to pay, a very small sacrifice indeed, compared to the feeling of getting back together with our loved ones back in Malaysia, Cheryl.
Hi, how long have you not been in Malaysia, and what is your preparation to go back to Malaysia for the festivities?
Oh, okay. I think I was back home in January 2020, just right before the pandemic. I'm so lucky that I came back here, and then 2 weeks after that, the border was closed. Yes, I am super excited actually, since that all the restrictions have been lifted up. I'm leaving tomorrow, so I'm just so excited to see my family, my sisters, my brothers,
Great.
and then this is such a great journey for me. For more than 2 years, haven't seen them, to hug them in person, so this Idul Fitri is gonna be one of the best, for sure.
What are your preparations to go back to Malaysia tomorrow, and what do you have to go through in order for you to go back?
Well, even though I'm very excited, safety comes first, and then as you know, we do have our MySejahtera apps that required us to do the RT-PCR test to be negative before we flying home. So I just did my test just now, and then looking forward for the negative result, so I can just go home and see my family. Of course, precautions, wear your mask, in the area where the traffic is high, and then sanitize your hands. Whenever you touch everything, just making sure that you wash your hands, and then, importantly, safety comes first.
Thank you. Have a great and safe journey tomorrow to Malaysia, and happy Hari Raya to you.
Thank you so much.
2 days remain, and Muslims worldwide anticipate to celebrate Hari Raya Idul Fitri. Now, through TVS's survey this time, dives down again to Medan Niaga Satu, which is the main attraction for locals alike to have their necessities prior to the upcoming celebration. With some comparing on prices and quantity, while some are merry to see the livelier situation. Now, here's what they have to say.
Pembelian tahun tu agak naiknya sikit lah, sebab agak sesak juga, sebab this year sebab orang semua terus mau keluar. Macam last year orang ada limit orang keluar anak, so si ramai gila lah, tapi stok kali tu memang macam ni agak kurang, sebab penjual pun si expect. Kami hanya mengamalkan kesederhanaan sajalah, macam ni. Jangan berlebih-lebihan aja lah. Asalnya raya, and sebab mun family pulang, ia je lah penting. Mun masak dengan family instead of keluar, macam ni aja. Harga memang agak banyak naik lah. Kadang-kadang ada harga maintain tapi kuantitinya dikurangkan, macam ni. Sebagai pembeli, macam ni madam, kita siap kawal lah benda ya. So kita just ikut apa yang harga yang dah ditetapkan. So kita sebagai pembeli, jadilah beli dengan bijak, pandai-pandailah cari area tempat yang kita nak beli. Kadang-kadang ada certain tempat ada murah, kita boleh dapatkan harga borong kah atau macam ni. Macam ni.
Daging kami hari raya tu pakai masak hari raya first day raya nak. Syukur alhamdulillah lah. 2 tahun yang lepas pun raya juga tapi seberapa macam tu lah untuk meriah lah benar. Anggap pasar pun semua penuh. Pesanan kami supaya jaga SOP, jangan lupa COVID masih ada masa tu.
Traders and shoppers in Malaysia are keeping a tight hold on their wallets ahead of the Aidilfitri celebration, with prices set to rise amid the war in Ukraine and a sudden ban on palm oil exports imposed by neighboring Indonesia. Russia's invasion of Ukraine has disrupted supply chains worldwide, leading to a jump in prices on everything from food, oil to clothing.
Annual inflation rose 2.2% in Malaysia in March, though the country has largely been spared by spiking costs seen elsewhere, thanks to fuel subsidies and other price control measures taken by the government. However, with Indonesia's decision to cease exporting palm oil last week, and as the country prepares to celebrate Aidilfitri after 2 years of pandemic lockdowns, food costs might soar even more. Following Jakarta's announcement, the Malaysian government has said it has enough palm oil supplies to meet global demand. A local stall owner told reporters the cost of raw ingredients such as chicken has risen, eating into his profit margins.
Banyak kebanyakan restoran pun tak boleh survive, banyak kena tutup. Macam kami ni survive sebab kami costing kami, risiko kami gerai kan. Jadi risiko dia tak tinggi macam restoran, tak boleh sama lah kita dengan restoran ataupun yang lain-lain kedai kan. Cumanya kita nak maintain kat tu risiko dia kita kena tak apa untung persen tu tak sama apa kata dengan dulu dengan sekarang lah, tak boleh sama lah. Macam mau kata margin kita dulu mungkin lebih tinggi, tapi sekarang margin kita kurang lah, rendah lah mana.
Shafiq Yusuf, a young adult who was shopping for traditional clothes for Aidilfitri, said prices of most items had gone up.
Semua agak mahal juga. Sebab dulu harga dia tak lebih daripada 150 lah. Sekarang kebanyakan 100, 106, 107 boleh sampai. So agak mahal sikit. Saya rasa dia kena turunkan sikit harga lah. Mahal sangat sebab ada golongan-golongan yang tak mampu kan.
Into other matters, the public has been advised against overbuying of essential food items during the Aidilfitri festive season to avoid supply shortages. Second Deputy Minister of Agriculture and Food Industry, Dr. Nik Muhammad Zawawi Saleh, however, gave the assurance that there are sufficient supplies of essential items in the market to meet the demand for the Aidilfitri celebration.
The Deputy Minister assured that his ministry have held discussions with chicken producers and meat importers, and they are prepared to cooperate in ensuring adequate food supplies during the festive season. He said this to reporters at the Federal Agricultural Marketing Authority's or FAMA Semarak Syawal program at the Rural Transformation Centre RTC near Tunjong in Kota Baru, Kelantan today. Nik Muhammad Zawawi, who is Pasir Putih Member of Parliament, also advised the public to get their daily necessities at the My Best Buy Carnival Raya program at the 797 marketing outlets nationwide. He added that consumers will benefit from a 10 to 20% discount on goods at the carnival. Meanwhile, when asked to comment on a viral video claiming that there will be a chicken supply deficit for the Aidilfitri celebration, he did not rule out the potential that some locations might be experiencing chicken supply shortages.
The Sarawak Public Communications Unit, or UCAS, is planning to hold a mini-convention with local media to discuss and share ideas, especially in helping the government to convey correct and transparent information to the public. Deputy Minister in the Department of the Premier of Sarawak for Communication Affairs, Information and UCAS, Dato' Abdullah Saidul, said the mini-convention will be held in the near future.
Itu pun antara perancangan yang perlu kita buat. Mungkin something like mini convention. Kita ingin menjemput semua warga media termasuk media sosial dan sebagainya, untuk melihat apa yang boleh mereka lakukan selepas post-pandemik, peranan kita dalam membantu kerajaan, dalam menyebar maklumat dalam pemulihan ekonomi dan sebagainya, dan juga highlight lah tentang isu-isu kebajikan rakyat yang perlu kita bantu.
In addition, the convention is also aimed to discuss the challenges and roles of the media in channeling transparent, accurate, and comprehensive information, especially to the rural areas. With this, he hopes that media practitioners, especially in rural areas, can help the government by giving feedback regarding the issues faced by rural residents. He said this at the UKAS breaking of fast ceremony with fellow media in Kuching on Friday evening. Abdullah Saidol, who is also Samop State Assemblyman, hopes that any information provided by the media is accurate so as not to cause any confusion. On another development, Saidol also announced that the Sarawak Public Communications Unit, or UKAS, is currently inquiring whether they can issue media cards similar to the ones issued by the Federal Department of Information. UKAS is looking into the matter, following requests from local media practitioners who have yet to obtain media cards, which may be a problem for them when conducting their duties.
Dalam masa yang terdekat, kita akan melihat membuat keputusan supaya kita dapat membantu mereka lah segera. Kita akan melihat di bidang kuasa yang UKAS ada lah dalam aspek kerajaan negeri. Terutama sekali warga pengamal media sosial daripada anak tempatan lah.
He said a decision will be made soon after assessing UKAS jurisdiction.
Thank you for staying with me. Palestinians in the West Bank, Gaza Strip and Jerusalem have been preparing to mark the end of the fasting month of Ramadan with the holiday of Eid al-Fitr despite a rise in prices.
The cobblestone alleyways in the market of Jerusalem's Old City were bustling on Wednesday, April 27th, with shoppers during the day buying clothes, sweets, and other holiday treats for the three-day holiday. However, many complained that Eid this year was not like the previous holidays, as prices were higher. Merchants piled up nuts, dried fruit, and candies, hoping to cash in on the holiday rush. In the West Bank city of Hebron, the marketplace was also bustling on Thursday, April 28, with families and children enjoying preparations for the festive holiday. In the Gaza Strip, home to 1.6 million residents, Muslims flocked the local market to stock up on goods. A fish shop in Rafah had to slash the price of its fish, known as the salted grey mullet, by half due to financial struggle. The fish is usually bought on the first day of Eid, a tradition known in Gaza. The holiday is expected to begin either on Sunday, May 1st or Monday, May 2nd.
And thousands of Bangladeshis rushed to the Dhaka's main ferry terminals in hope to board ferries to return to their hometowns to celebrate the Eid al-Fitr holidays. This comes after the previous years of the celebration being slightly silent due to the COVID-19 pandemic.
After 2 years of restrictions, many are happy that transportation is back to normal and they can finally find an easier way to head home, as last year land transportation was terminated to stop people from moving around too much. Abdul Zubair, a passenger on a ferry, said after the pandemic, this is the first time he's going home. However, as there are no seats inside, he took to the roof of a ferry. Millions are expected to leave the capital Dhaka during the Eid festival on ferries, buses and trains. People from the southern cities prefer to travel with ferries as it is the fastest way for them to get home. For the record, Bangladesh has hit over 1.9 million of COVID cases with over 29,000 deaths.
Japanese toy maker Space Exploration Agency introduces mini lunar exploration robot, a hand-sized sphere called Sora-Q. It was jointly developed by major Japanese toy maker Tommy and the Japan Aerospace Exploration Agency to send to the moon.
The robot, measuring only 250 grams and 8 centimeters in diameter, has 2 wheels at the side that can move on powdery sand and has 2 cameras in the front and rear that can take pictures and transmit images back to the Earth. It's also made from a special type of aluminum and plastic that can withstand the harsh temperature difference on the moon, which according to JAXA can go anywhere between negative 170 degrees to 110 degrees Celsius. Tommy Company employee and Sora-Q developer Kanta Hashibi said their experience and techniques to produce children's toys help in the creation of this robot.
球体から変形するというところにおもちゃ会社らしい、柔軟な発想というのが生かされているかなと思っています。それからサイズが非常に小さくて軽いんですけれども、こちらにもおもちゃの小型化する技術ですとか、あと簡素に作るシンプルな構成で作る技術、それから走行する時の技術、そういった部分が生かされていると思っています。
He added that he would be happy if children were to develop an interest in space by watching the robot go up into space.
我々が持っているそのおもちゃの技術というところが宇宙の探査に活かせるんじゃないかといったところから取り組みを始めました。今この探査月面ロボットが宇宙に行くことで遠い宇宙のことをより皆さんに身近に感じてもらって宇宙に興味関心を特に子どもたちに持ってもらいたいなと思っています。
JAXA is planning to send the robot on its lunar lander SLIM or smart lander for investigating moon in fiscal 2023. It will take pictures of the moon and the landing of SLIM, which researchers hope will help develop their space exploration.
スが持っているカメラで、スリム探査機が、どのような着陸状態になっているのかというところを、撮影して、それを地上に画像として転送するっていうのが、目標になっています。
And that feature concludes TVS Nightline for tonight. For recurring updates, do follow us on our TVS official Facebook page and also on our headlining stories on our website at TVSTVMY. Here with me, Shao Shamato, and I'll see you next time. Have a good day.